Will World War III break out? To be honest, the world is standing on the edge of a third world war. China and the United States are not directly at war yet. That is why World War III has not started. Once the two are drawn into direct conflict, a global war would break out. The current global situation is already turbulent. The Russia-Ukraine dispute continues to escalate. Poland has pressured Russia militarily alongside NATO countries. Wars in the Middle East keep flaring, and the China-US trade and tech war goes on. So is World War III really that close? Let's analyze this objectively. First, understand this. There is no winner in a third world war, only destruction. Modern nuclear weapons are far more devastating than the arms used in the first two world wars. That we live in a peaceful era is itself a miracle. The world tries to prevent war, yet greed can make conflict inevitable. The real trigger for World War III would be a direct China-US fight. As long as they don't fight directly, the worst is averted. History shows the first two world wars were caused by economic imbalances. In the First World War, great powers exploited colonies while emerging powers had none. Economic gaps and old disputes led to war and 16 million deaths. In the Second World War, Germany faced economic crisis and mass hunger. Japan invaded China to seize resources, but the war destroyed Japan's economy. The US embargo on oil was one of the sparks that pushed the conflict into full scale. The fundamental cause was economic imbalance, which some powers sought to solve by war. Today, the world stands at the threshold of a third world war. The fire has not yet reached all of us. Russia has been severely hit economically by a 3-year war. NATO recently supplied more weapons to Ukraine. If Russia cannot endure further, it could resort to nuclear options against the West. In the Middle East, Israel repeatedly starts wars and Arab states are rallying against it. South, Southeast, and South Asia already suffer economic backwardness and internal crises. All these factors point toward increased risk of a major war. What keeps a global war from erupting is the close interdependence of China and the United States. Why? For 3 main reasons. Economically, China and the United States are the world's largest economies and heavily interdependent. China supplies key goods to the US. The US is a major export market for China. In 2024, bilateral trade exceeded $700 billion. If their interests clash and war breaks out, global supply chains would collapse, and many countries' economies would be devastated. Militarily, both are nuclear powers. The fear of mutual nuclear annihilation restrains both sides. If China and the US go to war, the world would split into 2 blocks. NATO, Japan and Korea would side with the US, while Russia, Iran, and others could align with China. Neutrality would be hard to maintain. But even if alliances form, a third world war would have no true victor. Once a nuclear power feels existentially threatened, nuclear weapons become likely to be used. According to RAND Corporation estimates, a full-scale nuclear war would kill 1 billion people directly. Nuclear winter would destroy agriculture and billions would die of famine. Radioactive contamination would devastate the environment for decades or centuries. Alliances would collapse, institutions like the United Nations would lose meaning, and the international order would crumble. Human civilization and its progress would be destroyed. Einstein once said he didn't know what weapons would be used in World War III, but in World War IV, people would fight with sticks and stones. That bleak sentence captures the grim consequences of a third world war. After a global nuclear conflict, humanity could be pushed back to prehistoric conditions, struggling to survive with primitive tools among ruins. If you found this useful, show some love. Like the video, subscribe for more deep dives, and drop a comment below. Share this with friends who'd want to know. It helps a lot.